Hello everyone, welcome back to my video. In this video, I would like to podcast with my ex teacher when I was a junior high school. His name is Mr. Andika.
Yes.
How are you, Mr. Andika?
Yes, I'm really fine. How about you, Indra?
I'm very well. So thanks, Mr. for joining in my podcast.
Yes.
This podcast is to my in is task for my middle test,
Okay.
the intermediate speaking lesson.
Oh, I see.
And in this podcast, I hope to your experience
Okay.
when you take before and after pandemic.
Oh, okay. So, thank you for the time. Now, I would like to maybe tell about myself. My name is Mahendra. So, I'm an English teacher in one of the school in Karangasem. So, I start teaching in 2016, and yeah, it's about my fifth year to teach student in junior high school. So a lot of things happen when I teach before and after pandemic. So it's related to uh, our discussion about how we discuss about teaching in before and after pandemic.
From the beginning of pandemic, how you give a lesson for the student. In fact, the student prohibit to come to school.
Yeah, as we know, the pandemics come in the March of uh, 2019. So it affects a lot of things of the world, especially from education, and in our school is disturbing our learning activity as well. And yeah, the governments maybe they give the solution to make the program learning from home in TPRI. So it use as we learn because the student is prohibited to come to school in the beginning of the pandemic. So it's the best choice that we use when we teach about the learning in pandemics. So about the program of learning from homes, we use for 3 months. So in the 3 months, uh, we have to collect the note of the student. We use as a schedule in show in the TV. So we have collects around maybe 1 month, and it's collected by the student by parents come to school. So that's happened in the 3 months when we teach by television.
After 3 months, you're teaching in the television. Do you have any problem teaching in the television?
Well, uh, there are some problem we have when we use the program of the learning from home in the TV because, as we know, the programs is use random subjects. So I'm as an English teacher, so I don't find some English material show in the uh, learning from home programs on the TV. So it's the first one, and the second is about the communication. So it's a problem with how do we tell the student, especially the student that not any communication like phone, like WhatsApp, or maybe the access to tell about the material or something that related with the programs.
So after a 3 month uh, uh, teach from television, uh, it have a new step from the school for the student more understand and effective for the lesson.
Well, because as we know that might be some problem with the learning from home program. So after 3 months, so the school decide to learn from the using a new technology, using an application to support our learning system in school. And my friends told me that there are some application that
Mm.
might be used for a long period of this pandemic, and one of them like the classroom. So in Google Classroom,
Mm.
so we start from open and learn about how we use the application to was it as a media for the student to learn in this application, so we can share information, share our material and tasks in there. And of course, uh, in the material and tasks is in the form of the file, so the student can access the material by looking for the what is it like material in file, and they can
Yeah.
communicate or also the what is it ask some question about it. So it's really
Easy.
happen easy
Yeah.
for us to use the classroom.
Uh, oh, there are any problem when you using classroom, or your student have a problem the first time using classroom.
Yeah, so we talk about the classroom in general. So for us as a teacher,
Mm.
especially the oldest one,
Mm.
that maybe not was it easy to operate some application, some technology. So the teacher uh, has been was it difficult to operate or
Yeah.
run the program or the application. So that's the problem with the oldest teacher.
Yeah.
But for the student, because there's the new thing for them as the student, so some of them are really confused about using the application. Maybe the basic one is they don't know how to was it move from the information of the forum until looking for the tags, looking for the material in the phone.
Send the
So
tasks in
yes,
classroom.
so it might be difficult
Yeah.
as the first time to use the classroom. Okay.
I think for fine using the classroom because you young teacher. Yeah, relates for using Google Classroom.
Yes.
Have you asked for your student what they feel learning with online method?
Well, if you talk about the student, if they are not happy or happy, of course they are the both sides. Some student feels that they are free, what is it, to learn
Mm.
from the school. So some maybe ignore about the classroom. So we cannot do more about the access, but some of them that they are maybe some clever student, maybe but the student have passion with the material, so learning online it maybe is making some of them feel not happy. Yeah,
Mm.
because you know that they are not come to school,
and
they are not meeting
meet
any
friend.
friends in
Yeah.
there, they are staying at
Uh,
home at a
uh,
house for a long time, so it might affect the personality, especially for the student itself.
yeah. And how do you solve the problem? There are many students don't have a handphone or buy a quota for learning online.
Well, uh, in this case, the student, especially there are some advice from the government and also for the school to what is it, uh, to make sure that all the students have learning, because there are some of them don't have any access of the communication like phone, as you said.
Yeah, by
So we take the advice or suggestion that uh, the parents of the student who don't have any communication
yeah
or phone
phone
will come to
school.
school to take some model or material.
Oh,
So it takes about 1 weeks after it takes the new ones from the new
oh.
yeah, for the 1 weeks.
1 week, one module.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
So we hope that from that method, the student that cannot have any access for the phone can also learn in that module or the material, printed materials.
So in your school, how many students chose online class and chose offline class? As you say, uh, take tax in school.
Well, based on our data,
Mm.
that student who have a phone or communication access and who don't have. So I think about the percentage,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can percentage.
I think there are 80% and 20%. So 80% the student look for the online
Uh,
class, and 20% is about the offline class.
oh,
Yeah, I think that's the percentage. Yeah, we talk if you talking about how many student join the online class or offline class.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. There you have a problem for absent your student. 80% choose online and 20% choose offline class. How you feel to absent?
Well, when we talk about the what identity to put when we teach in online class or offline class, it's really different. So really different, because uh, we see that a half of the student in online class have some problem of access,
Yeah,
maybe about the signal,
yeah.
maybe about the
Quota.
quota,
Yeah.
and also some of them they don't know how to put their absent into the classroom.
Yeah.
So that is the one it happen in online class. But in offline class, so we should give some policy that uh, the student who take the material, it belongs to absent
Yeah.
or absent in that weeks,
Yeah.
in that weeks. So it's also for the next weeks, if they are not come, the parents of, especially to take the material. So we list it as attend the class. So if they are not come, the parents come
Mm.
to school to take. So we list as they not come or attend to school. That's it.
Mm, how many tasks you give uh, for the student to finish to don't finish for 1 week?
Okay, because of the pandemic that we use emergency curriculum. So for the material we bring as two was it two kinds of materials, and also it brings about maybe about 3 or 4 weeks before we give some tests
Mm,
or maybe some tasks to they what is it write down maybe in the classroom by Google Form. And also we also take some time so to make them collect it, so it not be in that time they collect the tax or the test, but
mm,
in the time in middle of the weeks. So it useful for student who have some problem with the access.
yeah. So after 1 year and a half teaching with online method, and now I hear the school open again.
Yes.
How you feel the school uh, open again and you teach back again in your school, and about the teaching uh, this in school and online, how you feel, what the difference?
Okay, so I think in the teaching, how I feel teaching in uh, before and after pandemic, it's so many things difference we got. So in teaching online you have to use the time so much
Yeah,
than using regular time teaching
yeah,
before pandemic. So I think it's good if we back to normal again to teach in the time in the morning until afternoon,
yeah,
not in the online class that when after class in the afternoon, in the night, in the evenings. So I have to check again
yeah,
the materials so the student talk or quest something about the material. So it's make sure the you have to uh, get some energy
yeah.
to do that. And also uh, because we know in this moment when the school is allowed to uh, what is it to teach or to do some learning activity, there are some policy that we have to limit the access of the
Oh,
student.
have a limit.
Yes, because the government said that we don't have to uh, make the all student come to this school,
Oh,
because
not our
it
student.
yes because it makes some crowded moment,
Yeah.
and it's sure that the government are not allowed to crowded.
Mm,
So the school have some rule that a half of the class will attend the school, and they learn about maybe around 2 or 3 hours per
mm,
day. So after that, they go back to the home and replaced by another student in different shift or different time.
oh,
Yeah. So yeah, it's maybe about the habitual that the
mm,
student are not full in the school. Maybe because the
oh,
before pandemic, the student must be come to maybe around 7 em. and
Okay.
then until 1 p.m.
Hmm.
But now they learn maybe about around 2 or 3 hours, so they are limited to get the full of the come to school by using the time.
Or maybe absent 1 until absent 10, come in 7 a.m. For 1 hours and
Yeah.
replace to another uh, student again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a talk about.
Yeah. Oh, uh, so not all student come to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, it's based on the schedule
Yeah.
that we made, and we was it meet we have meeting before the situation to what is it to make sure that there are no problem with the student itself to come to school. They know the time, they know the class, so it's about maybe around 2 weeks from since the school is open.
Um,
So yeah, I think make sure that the student know about the rules.
Well, that's all our podcast, and
Yeah.
thank you, Mr. Andika, to share the method teaching before pandemic and after pandemic.
Okay, you are welcome. So it's a good to me to share for all of you
Yeah.
for looking for the information in this podcast. I hope you are enjoy to watching this video. Yes.
Okay, that's all the podcast, and see you for the next video. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.